Hey, how's it going, guys? Well, here we are. Another week's on by. Doesn't take long, does it? Uh, so, who we got in the room? The dude. Hey, man. Steve Sadusky, welcome along. Chris Freemasson, all except for Kev. He's going to be very butthurt about that. Tarbo's here. We've got the Aussies in the house. And what have we got? Biggle Bob. Hey, it was great to see you the other day, last week. Um, I'd love to say that I was sipping your bourbon tonight, but I'm actually coming to you from the workshop tonight. Mrs. K's out of town, and I thought I'll work a bit late, and yeah, uh, I just do the live from the workshop. I wish I knew how to stop the blurring of the background, but I don't. If anyone can tell me how to do that, I'll gladly turn the blurring off, and you can have a look around the workshop. How does that sound? Um, yeah, so Big Bob, I can't be drinking bourbon before I have to drive 20 minutes home. So I will have to save that little bottle you got me, not little, nice big bottle you got me, for next week. The dude, buy them plane tickets yet? No, not yet. No, probably got to leave it too late. They'll be too damn expensive, won't they? Yeah, I need to see if Mrs. Kiwi can get some good flights. She flies a lot, so she gets some good deals. Jeff Hutchins, how you doing, man? Old timers here. Paul Funk. LVG's in the house. Beagle Bob, has your ear recovered from injury? Not at all, man. It was good. It was good. It's good to chat with you guys, and like meeting you guys face to face is awesome. So those of you that aren't aware, Beagle Bob dropped into the shop last Thursday, was it? Yeah, Thursday morning. So we kind of hung out for an hour or so, and it was all good, you know. Yeah, like okay, it took me off the tools for an hour, but that's you've got to have some recreational time as well, you know. Life is short, so uh, yeah, it's good to see any visitors I get. Charles Dalton, good to have you here, mate. Old timer, I will drink for you, buddy. Oh, fair enough. Okay, don't go too hard. Chris Freeman, serious question. Is it theoretically possible to make the pickup truck faster than the Audi? That would take a lot. Yeah, I would think you would need at least 800 horse and possibly a differential in the front as well, which is not unheard of in a F100. That's more of a four-wheel drive than an all-wheel drive. So the rear drive truck, the traction's a bit of a test. Even with the little 302 and a tall first, it'll light the tyres if you provoke it enough. And that's with 200 horse. So, yeah, so theoretically, yes. Likelihood, slim. Steve Sadusky, Kiwi and gang. Hey, man, welcome along. Easiest way would be to make the Audi slower. Just pull the half the plugs or so. Yeah, that would definitely slow it down. Charles Dalton, speaking of the truck, any idea when AMD will post your video with KT? Honestly, no. The last one that we did, that Kevin and I did, which was the actual assembly of that bed, was probably a good 2 weeks later, if not 3. But I wasn't really counting. I'm just trying to remember. But yeah, it'll be 2 or 3 weeks, I'm afraid. Yeah. Steve Sadusky, I'm not square, I swear. Well, you made it, so no, you're not square. Yeah. Drive car with round headlights. Yes, but 4 or 2 headlights. 4 headlights is cool. Like the thumbnail for tonight's live with the GDR. Those stacked headlights always look cool. I thought the stacked, small rounds. Granddad's junk today, Chris Brotherhood Kiwi. Yes. Yeah, so we got Aussies and Kiwis in the house. Very cool. Tavo, computer finally refreshed for some reason. Live streams don't start from the waiting screen. And hitting refresh just hung. So technically I'm late. Oh, mate, we'll forgive you. It's not like I never have computer issues of my own, is it? So yeah, I can't be too harsh. The dude? Are you using an Apple laptop? No, I'm using a Dell computer. In, Intel Core. It's got a little sticker on it down here. Intel Core, Intel Arc. It's a fairly new one. Like it's only a couple of months old. Uh, and one car. Steve Studusky in one car with just one headlight. Oh dear. LBG, good news. I won the People's Choice Award at a show on Sunday. First time my 62 right-hand drive Beetle has ever won. Good time. Mate, that's awesome. That's always a buzz when you win something like that. And it really doesn't matter how small a show or how big it is, really. I don't think it makes really much difference. Um, and honestly, the best, in my opinion anyway, the best award to win is the People's Choice because the judges have been known to be a little political, to have their biases because of friends and people they know. Often the judges, have not often. I shouldn't say that. Sometimes the judges have, a leaning one way or another, and it can be a little tough. Um, but the People's Choice is the people. Uh, yeah, not the judges that are going to knock your points off for having a scratched up bolt, head on a bolt, or just like little teeny tiny things. But the People's Choices, people just look at the whole package and go, "That's a cool car," and they chose yours. So yeah, cool stuff. Old timer, something fell from the sky here in NH today, New Hampshire. It was some sort of liquid, clear, no taste, no smell. We were half panicked. What do you think it could be, Kevin? Yes. Well, no taste, no smell. Yeah, sounds a little like rain, or maybe it was just. No, I think it's going to be rain, buddy. The dude, I was trying to figure out the blue. Yeah, I figured you were, but yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where to get because it's not my laptop; it's the wife's one, and I don't even know how to get to the settings on it to try and. I'm sure there's a way to turn that off, but I just don't know what it is. I'm trying to. If I'd thought about it earlier, I would have tried doing it before the live started, but it's a bit late now. Chris Freemason, don't ask me to solve tech questions for you guys. I was totally burned out by 2 p.m. Mate, I know the feeling. I do know the feeling. I just thought, I was thinking if I do it at the workshop, then I can give you guys a little tour. But that was it was a really good idea that didn't pan out as yet. This Freemason Beatles rule lower LBG vintage, old Beatles rule. Cool, they do. Cheap bleach. Oh, aircraft toilet dump. Well, yes, that's probably going to have a smell and it's probably going to have a taste. Ugh. Yeah, that's not appealing at all, is it? Yeah. Um, the dude, open the settings, Bluetooth and devices, camera, select camera, and choose the camera effects option, expand it, turn off the background effect. Well, they're all good and well, isn't it? Um, I'll have a quick try, so bear with me, guys. Settings, Bluetooth and devices. Yep, found that. Cameras. Select your camera and choose camera effects. maintenance. Okay, now this is where the system's breaking down. It says add a network camera, which I'm not trying to do that. USB video device camera privacy settings. I'm going to click on that and see what I find. Camera effects. Not seeing camera effects. Everything's on. Well, this is not very stimulating for you guys, is it? Camera privacy settings. To do that, well, it was worth a shot. Yeah, it just your instructions were going real well there momentarily, but yeah, I couldn't select the camera. Let me try one more time. Connected cameras. Okay, that's fair. Oh, here, hang on. You might be making automatic framing. That camera will automatically keep you in framing and focus. Background effects. Oh, look at that! I found it. There you go. Ta-da! Awesome. It's a little bit different from what, but you got me most of the way there, dude. So that's all good. Now let me just catch up with the comments. Driest June, July, and August on record. Wow. Started since 1895. Wow. That's a while ago. That's even older than me. Gary Roy's, I'm 74 and it's getting harder and harder to lie upside down to work under a dash. Oh, yeah, you got 10 years on me, bud, and I'm finding it hard. So, plus my fingers don't work as well as they used to, and I don't remember where the wife's coming anymore. Mate, hey, but you're giving it a try, so good for you. It's awesome. At 74, that's awesome. I'm impressed. So, keep trying, man. Keep trying. Like, don't give up. Steve Sadusky, Twilight Zone. Yeah. Beagle Bob, Grandad, that was quite a tree. Could make a whole sunbeam out of it. Well, there's some truth to that. Oh, Gary, you enjoy the videos. Well, cool, man. Thank you. Chris Freemeasure, I take my glasses off. The background is Chris. Yeah, well, there you go. Josh Homan, hey, welcome along. Charles Dalton, giving me some advice, but I figured it out all by myself. I'm pretty impressed by it because I'm hopeless with the computer. I'm telling you. Bright and sunny here. I'll get the log on the mill today for Kiwi's piece for the sunbeam. I've got to get you some dimensions. Yeah. Best laid plans. Steve Sadusky, glasses on, glasses. Yeah, tell me about it, mate. Chris Freemeasure. You need some emergency slack. just in case. Well, there you go. Yeah, no blurry. Yeah. Tavo, light is your friend with failing eyes, no matter the glasses. Yep. I find anything easier to see with a bright light on. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, yeah, I'm now one of those guys, like when you go to a restaurant, I've got my phone out, with the light, the camera light on, or, try to read the menu in the restaurant. If it's an evening kind of low lit, not low lit, but not super bright restaurant. Paul Funk, hit the like button, everyone. Yes, that would help. That would help. And I think most of you probably saw the truck video that I put out on Sunday. So I'm sure you heard me talking about this new hype button. I think that's going to help guys like me a lot. And like if you go, like click on the video before you actually start running it, and you'll see there's that little thumbs up, thumbs down symbol. And if you actually scroll it across take it to the left, so you're looking to the right, and you'll see a little hype button there. So yeah, if you can click on that for me, I think that'll help a lot, guys. But yeah, and also the like button here on the live. So old timer, seen a reel on Instagram where a 101-year-old man did 4 pull-ups. Wow. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild, really. 101. Yeah. Don't know that I'll even get close to that, let alone be able to do pull-ups when I get there. But you just never know, do you? Granddad's junk. If you really want some, I'm happy to send it. I can gas treat it and supply a certificate with it. Mate, no, I definitely want some. Mrs. Kiwi's like really excited about it. She's like, yeah, she is. I mean, she's very proud, very, very proud of her Kiwi heritage. And yeah, she as much as she likes, some of the British wooden dashes that you see around, she got very excited at the thought of having Remu. So yeah. So yeah, I know I haven't got you the measurements because the car's still like 12 months away. So I've been a bit lax getting you the measurements, but I do definitely want it. Don't make don't have any doubts about that. Dude, I wish there was an unlike button for Bordeaux. Oh dear. Chavo, I only found the hype button on the phone app, not even on the phone's browser. Okay. Old timer, I have hyped your vids since the option came out. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I only just kind of stumbled across it myself. So, Richard Stanbury, hey Kiwi, what do you think would be the easiest frame swap modern vehicle for a 4950 Fords? Another truck frame. It doesn't necessarily have to be Ford, but I would probably go. Except you don't want the Ford, double IB like that. That's not a good thing for a street rod. So if you can find a late model Ford chassis or a late model, Chevy chassis, put the body on that. 4950 Fords. I have known of guys putting them on S10 chassis, and if you can put them on an S10 chassis, if that's a reasonable fit, depends on the length of the bed you've got, I guess. But also, the Ranger chassis would probably work. That's what old timers saying. Ford Ranger. Yeah. Some of the modern trucks are so big that you may struggle to for the sizing to be anywhere near what it needs to be. Steve Sadusky, drinking beer. Michelob Ultra, that's a nice drop, man. Watching Kiwis live. This is the life. There you go. Man, I wish I was drinking. I'm down to water. So, what you going to do? It's nice and cold, which is good, but yeah, it ain't bad. Richard Stanbury, I was thinking about the Ford sedans. Well, I know some guys have put The Crown Vic frames under them. The Crown Vic is a pretty wide vehicle, and the 4950 Ford, yeah, not sure about the width. It might be a little wide for a 4950 Ford truck, but that could be worth a look at, and they're readily available. So apparently, what you do need to do though, I know a couple of guys that have done it, like on like early '60s Fords, and with the uh, the Crown Vic chassis, and you have to attach the bed to the cab. They apparently put some sort of a spacer. The Crown Vic has too much twist um, because it's designed to have like a complete sedan body on top of it, which is fairly stiff. And obviously the Ford, any pickup truck, as we're used to them here, with a two-piece, the cab and the bed, they're free to rotate. They're not connected. So apparently, what they've had to do is connect the bed to the cab. Exactly how they do that, I'm not sure. But yeah, it looks like the Crown Vic chassis is coming up quite a little bit. Steve Sadusky, how's the engine build going with Large March? It's not at all. Rather frustrating there. Although this week I am going. We'll be taking it either going to the engine builders Friday or Monday, one of those two. Maybe even Thursday. But yeah, within the next 2-3 business days, it's going up there. So yeah, but that's a start. Granddad's drunk. Kiwi, where are you? I'm in the workshop, mate. I said I'd do a tour if I could get the camera fixed. So let me just unplug the computer. What's behind the problem? That's another part of the building. Unfortunately, I have no access into there. That is like the landlord's area. So that's why there's crap stacked up against it, because it never gets opened or closed. But yeah, no, nothing exciting or interesting, I'm afraid, at all. Old timer. My brother had a 52 Ford business coupe with a Crown Vic front subsection bolted to it. Yeah, the Crown Vic front suspension is a great suspension swap as long as your vehicle is wide enough for it. It is pretty wide. Tavo, I need to send some Holden 1 tonne of chassis across with the barrows. When I win lotto, there you go. That's exactly what someone would say that's hiding something. Well, look, there may be someone hiding something, but it's not me. That would be the landlord. So there's Kev. Here is the. Let's try and get me out of the picture. There's the mighty Alpine. Sawed the other front fender off it today and revealed a whole lot of ugliness. Hang on, look at that. This is a little bit of rot. So yeah, more work to do. What else have we got? GTO in the background. The red fastback Mustang. So the GTO is just in for brakes and oil change, stuff like that. Nothing, just routine maintenance really. And some new tyres. We're going to replace the 23-year-old tyres on. This will give you a good look. If I can find one of the tyres. And when I saw the white lettering on the inside of them, I knew they were old. Let's see if I can. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to see how many of you have even seen these. Try and do this and get it in the frame. Winston Winner GTs. And all that wetness you can see on the tyre, that's how bad the rear wheel cylinder was. Winston Winner GTs. The little checkered flags in there. So yeah, those tyres are date stamped beginning of 2002. So yeah, a little old. What else is going on here? Yep. It's the mighty Alpine, looking less and less like an Alpine every time I lay hands on it. It's the red Mustang. We're getting close to starting. It's got the stroked out 427. I've been finishing up details, getting clutch reservoirs in there, and throttle linkages and throttle cables and all that sort of fun stuff. And there is Project Swiss Cheese. A whole lot of no rear fender. So yeah, there you go. It's a brief tour of the shop. So yeah, go and take a seat again. I've got a couple of fans going. I hope there's not too much background noise going on for you guys. I can't tell, of course. I got my trusty Super Kev t-shirt on. So you don't be shy about ordering those. I've got a couple. Now, where was I up to? Jeff Hutchins, he's in a garage. No, not much gets past you, does it, Jeff? I can't. Looks as if it was cut into a cross section. Yeah, it's a little sad behind the fender. I put the fender back on, won't see the rust. Well, you would get away with it here. In actual fact, you would, because there's no there's no road movers. Steve Sadusky, I would love to have that goat 67 GDO. Yeah. It's a pretty car, actually. It's not a bad car. I'll probably do a quick video on that. I mean, I had another one in just fairly recently, a white one, I think it was. So it's not kind of, yeah, I mean, it's, like I say, a quick video. There's not a lot to kind of show you on it, really. Charles Dalton, your Alpine project is just mind-blowing. Thank you for sharing that with us, and incredible craftsmanship. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Josh Oman, Kiwi is honest, so he won't do that. Well, yes, I wouldn't do that anyway, and particularly wouldn't do it because that's going to be Mrs. K's car, Mrs. Kiwi. So if someone hits her in the left front pillar, like I'd like her to have a chance of surviving, not just fold up like a thin cardboard McDonald's box, Tavo, remember the white tyre crayons? We all had one of those and white lettered new tyres when we got them. Yeah, I do remember doing that. You're right. I do. That's a lifetime ago. Steve Sadusky, nice engine in that Stang. Yeah, it is a nice engine. That made, I think it's close to 500 cubic inches now. Trying to remember. And it's about just a nudge over 600 horse. So pretty healthy engine. Pretty healthy. But dude, don't hear the fans at all. Well, cool. That means I can stay reasonably cool without turning the fans off. Whenever I actually record a video in here, I've got to turn the fans off because the mics pick the fans up. It's not working. And then you can filter it out, but it becomes kind of super sterile. The sound is it's like there's just my voice and like no background noise of any kind, and it kind of, to me, sounds a little weird. But so yeah, that's why I asked. So it's good that you're not getting them. Jeff Hutchins, I'm very observant. Okay, what did you spot? Alrighty. Josh Homan, a lot of irons in the fire. Yes, yeah, I really do. A little too many, but hey, I'm working on that. We're chipping away at it. There's actually, there's no more big projects booked at the moment. not convinced I'm going to book any more big project. Yeah, but mainly because I got margin in the Alpine, which are my once the customers' big projects are on, I'm going to be attacking those with aggression. Phone's going nuts at me. That's all right. What have we got here? Get your official Kiwi merchandise. The dude, thank you, sir, for giving that a play. Awesome, well done. Chris Freemason. I'm noticing a distinct lack of air-cooled VWs in the shop. Yeah, afraid so. No, you probably there's a couple of VW guys around me, like not too far away, and honestly, I send them. That's where people do inquire, and that's where I send them. I don't know enough about them, Chris. Like, I mean, I can learn, but it's not really fair to be charging people, when you're doing stuff that takes twice as long and charging them because you don't know. So, and I got so much work anyway. Um, it would be kind of cool to get to know them, but you need a little bit of time to be able to do that, which I don't have a lot of that right now. Andy Nickel, that was a sweet Mustang. Thanks for explaining the clutch channel. No problem, man. No problem. Josh Homan didn't sell well in Tennessee. Probably didn't sell well in Tennessee. What are you referring to there, Josh? Not sure what you're referring to there. Granddad's Chuck, Kiwi, those measurements I put up should do it. I want to dry it in the shade so it doesn't buckle and twist. Well, that'd be cool, yeah. The measurements I put up, where did you put them up, bud? I'm not sure that I saw that. I could have just forgotten as well, so just remind me, Granddad. Chris Freeman said, have you ever heard of a solar kiln? I have not heard of a solar kiln. I haven't. Granddad's mine. Tabo, with the tyre crayons, a mate would always add a D to the end of Firestone or Bridgestone. Oh, dear. Yes. Weren't we hilarious back in the day? Granddad's joke. No, I haven't. As I was a kiln operator, the sun does funny things to timber. Sun does funny things to a lot of stuff. Sergeant Mustang, hey Kiwi, hope you're doing well today. The vacuum booster for my 61 Chrysler hisses when the cars stop. Do you usually send your boosters to a rebuild shop or do it yourself? Mate, that's boosters I usually just replace, but that's not so easy on a 61 Chrysler. Yeah, I have not had one of those apart, so I don't know. They're probably a bit more serviceable than the later model ones, which are usually pressed together. Or at least there's sections of it that are kind of pressed and overlapped to keep them together. But the 61, I'm just going back to my old Buick that had a booster that you could disassemble. And I did try fixing that, but the booster was working, but the master cylinder was too far gone. There was too many pits in the shaft. So I would suspect getting a rebuild kit might be a little tough for that 61, but sometimes stuff you can't get, sometimes it surprises me what you can get. So, I would see what's available as far as the kit goes, and kind of go from there. See if there's anyone. Go down both roads and see what's most cost effective. See if there's someone rebuilding. There probably is someone rebuilding them somewhere. Just not sure where that is. Barracudas in the house. Very cool. Must have missed his comment. Where's Barracuda? Why am I not seeing a comment from Barracuda? Oh, the Beatles. Sorry, I'm with you now, Josh. Yeah, the Volkswagen Beatles. Um, there's a few around. There are a few around. I think Henry keeps zooming in and out. Not sure why. There's Beatles around for sure, but they're not everywhere. They're not. I think they were probably a bit more popular at California way and stuff like that. Granny's junk Tavo, you won't be travelling to the US. Well, yeah. You can. I mean, my in-laws were just over here. That's why I missed one of the lives a couple of weeks back. It's not. It's actually not hard. It's not really a problem getting into the States. You just got to make sure you've got your visa or you've got the right paperwork. If you get there and kind of act all stupid and don't have your paperwork or don't have a place that you're going to, they seem quite interested in where you're going to be in the States while you're there. So as long as you've got that figured out, which I mean, typically you would have, not many people get off the plane in LA and go, right, what now? I wonder where we'll go. So most people have usually got it planned out, and it's not a problem. There's a bit of scaremongering that, oh, don't go to America, they won't let you in or they won't let you out or whatever. It's like, nah. Barracuda, how are you doing, mate? You're saying good, fellas, so that's good. Brandon Young, 2 meters by 50 by 300. That will be more than big enough, mate. More than big enough. I don't actually know what that means, what those sizes are. So, Sid Luscious, paint margin, Tasmanian tiger stripes. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be interesting. There we go. Steve Sadusky, I remember when we bought new raised white leather tyres, we used to leave the bluing protection on them so the white would last longer before bringing out the white crayon. Yeah. Yeah, the water gets rid of that blue pretty quick. So. Tavo, I'm guessing you've already checked the seal at the vacuum fitting. Well, that would be the logical thing to do. Yeah, try and figure out just where the leak's coming from. Sergeant Mustang, it's a Bendix unit. I've heard there are rebuild shops out there that'll work on it. But there probably is. I'm not aware of them, but that's just because I haven't had to have one done. Sergeant Mustang, you don't mean the check valve, do you? Did they have a check valve in them? Like the modern boosters do, but they would have had some kind of point at which the vacuum goes in. 6th Street Garage, Tavo. That reminds me, does anyone remember Bridgestone motorcycles? Bridgestone motorcycle tyres or Bridgestone motorcycles? Certainly don't. Not aware of Bridgestone motorcycles. Tavo, yes, check valve. Couldn't think of it. The rubber seal around it. Barracuda, I wasn't casting any aspersions. Well, no. Driveway of misfits. The fact that VW sold 21.5 million of the original Beetles suggests that they sold pretty well, pretty much everywhere. Really? Yeah. Hard to argue with those numbers, isn't it? Wow. Man, if they made a couple of $100 on each one, which I'm sure they made more, but if they only made a couple of $100 on each one, that's 200 times 21 million is a lot. A lot. Kerosene cucumbers. Hey, man, welcome to the room. Hi, everyone. Welcome along, brother. Sergeant Mustang, I'll check that, and if it's that and the boost is still good, that'd be great. Well, yeah, well, Granddad's junk. Any conviction keeps you out. Aren't they tough on that? Not, don't quote me. I'm not a travel advisor, all right. But my understanding is um, that is if you're trying to get a green card here, like if you're trying to immigrate or immigrate into the states, um, then a conviction will definitely pretty much nix that. I know when I came here, we had to get police checks, and you had to get police checks from any country you'd lived in for more than 12 months. Um, so yeah, I spent a little while, just over that in Australia. So I had to get a police records report from Australia, and obviously a police records report in New Zealand before they, which had to be all clear before they'd give you a green card. But just visiting coming into the States, um, I don't believe they check it because that's a little bit of a process checking. Like they can't jump on their computers at the airport, um, and look at your criminal history record in your country of origin. They can't do that from there. That's something you've got to provide, and they don't ask for that when you're just coming in for a visit. I'm sure if you're committed some heinous crime, it will pop up in the system somehow. But um, if you got busted shoplifting when you were 18 or something, nobody's going up. Not for a holiday. Now, here we are. Chavo, 6th Street Garage. Really heard of Down Under, but way back in the 70s at the mini bike club I raced at, one pair of brothers had a Bridgestone 90cc with a sidecar. Oh, so you were talking about Bridgestone motorcycles. Wow. Shot down the page again. Now, Sid Luscious, Mexico was still making Beetles and buses around 2000. Saw new Beetles for $6.5 grand. Wow, that's pretty cheap. Yeah, they did keep a lot of stuff. They kept making and making and making in Mexico. Yeah, good on. South Africa were a little bit like that too. They kept some models going that had discontinued in other parts of the world. You know, yeah, and this is going back a little while. This is not of recent times, but yeah, in the early 2000s kind of era. But South Africa wasn't everyone's favourite country with their stance on apartheid and things like that. So they had to do a bit of their own thing a little bit. South Africa. Chris Freeman, so the last original Beetle was built 2003 in Mexico. Yes, wow, isn't it? How long it? So what was? When did they start? So 2003 was the finish. When did they start? That was 40s, wasn't it? I don't know the year. I'm sure Mr. Freeman knows exactly what year they started. The Beatles make great Baja buggies too. Absolutely, they did. Josh Homan, the Beetle was the best-selling car in history for some years. I'm sure it was. Yeah, that was a very clever thing that the Germans did back then. Barracuda, my brother had a white one. I've never had one. The Dude, what's your favourite road trip song? Ooh, road trip song. Not sure that I've got an actual one road trip song, but I really like 50s and early kind of 60s rock and roll. Um, yeah. Yeah, actually, what if I had to pick a favourite, it would probably be Shaboom. Which was became famous again from the Cars movie. Um, and what you guys, there's a New Zealand / Australian band called the Koi Boys, which is spelled KOI, the Koi Boys, and they do an awesome version of Shaboom, like a really good version, and they're all over YouTube. So look up the Koi Boys, um, and you guys, I'm sure Barracuda will know of them, and possibly Tavo and those guys as well. But yeah, they're for you American viewers, my American viewers, yeah, check them out, the Koi Boys. Um, they do some cool music. Charles Dalton, I'd forgotten about the Bridgestone motorcycle. Thanks for the memory, mate. I didn't even know about him, so it's not even a memory, but it is now. Granddad's jug and trikes. They used to cut the front on. Huh. Sid Luscious, Golden Earring, Radar Love Song. Yeah, that's a good one too. I just like that old 50s stuff. It's just showing my age, I guess. But yeah, like I love the soundtrack to American Graffiti. Great, great songs on the American Graffiti soundtrack. Driveway of Misfits. Technically, yes, but there were very few civilian Beetles built before the World War II started in 39. So they were a 30s car. Wow. I bet some of those are valuable, built from the 30s. They were. That was the. When did they build the small window? Correct me if I'm wrong. But isn't that the one with the really small little twin small back windows the most valuable one, or most sought after one? Chris Freemasson, doesn't the process of obtaining a travel visa to the US include some sort of background check? You have what I believe is I can't remember the term for it, but basically you can jump on a plane, talking New Zealand terms, I can't, obviously. I mean, if you're coming from Iran or Iraq or somewhere, I'm sure the rules will be different. But coming from New Zealand, probably Australia, you can go for like 90 days. You can jump on a plane, get there. If you've got a return ticket that's inside of that 90-day window, then it's like, come on in. It's not a problem. If you want to stay a little bit longer term, then yeah, you probably do need to have a background check. But yeah, for that 90-day, it's called a 90-day something visa, and I can't remember what it's called. But it's basically the visa that's not really a visa. Yeah, as I say, you got to know where you're going approximately, and have a return ticket. One thing they won't not let you in if you don't have a return ticket. Like you'll be put straight back on a plane and sent anywhere else other than the US. Barracuda, Hitler's car. Well, yes. Apparently that was his idea. He wanted to mobilise the people, the masses. So hard to kind of. It seems like a good thing that he did, and it's kind of a little hard saying, oh, that he did anything good. But he was. I don't really know how critical he was in the making of the Beetle, but little bits and pieces I've seen kind of indicate that. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Mo Parel, hey man, welcome to the room. Good to have you here. How's it going? We got that Starion finished off yet that I never got finished? Good evening. Yeah. Granddad's joke. I'm a bit more infamous than shoplifting. Well, you don't want to point any fingers, But yeah, yeah. It's what you do today and tomorrow that counts. So that's what counts. The dude, did you get to meet Rich 220 at the No Name National? Al, okay. It's a question for Al. Jeff Hutchins, I always wanted to take a new Beetle TDI, swap the drive chain into the rear and make a modern Baja. But that would be kind of cool. But yeah, that's one of those things that sounds like a really good idea on paper, but it's a lot of work. Um, Steve Sadusky, Kiwi, technical question here. My 85 Monte Car SS has plastic front and rear bumper, and the front grille is integrated into it. What sanding grit should I use to remove the paint? Hey, yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, you got to be careful not to dig into the plastic. That's the thing. I believe there are some strippers you can use on that won't eat the plastic, but will hurt the paint. I don't, they're not quite as aggressive as say your old school aircraft paint stripper. But I believe there are some paint strippers out there for that. Um, because yeah, it's a tricky one to sand it off plastic. Because yeah, if anything, the plastic's a little softer than the paint, and so yeah, you dig into it real quick. I would, certainly, yeah, I would explore and see what's available as far as paint strippers go, and you'd want to talk to somebody at, like an automotive paint suppliers, not Home Depot, and yeah, see how you go. And if you're going to use grit, I wouldn't use anything more than 80 grit, and don't apply too much pressure. Let the sandpaper do the work, and keep your eyes open. And once you see that plastic colour, you will leave it the hell alone. The dude, mine is moved, bitch, by Ludacris. Yeah, there you go. Slightly different taste in music. That's okay. It's all good. I like a lot of different music actually, but yeah, my kind of go-to when I'm on my own in the shop is, and not every day, but I'll often I listen to Pandora quite a bit, and I've got a couple of channels that that Pandora creates for you with a lot of that old um, 50s, 60s stuff on it. Chavo, he's pounded down. That's a good song. That is a good song. Oh, dear me. That's funny. Barry Cooter, I've got a clean record. They never found out about the magnifying glass on pilfered when I was 4. Yeah. Yeah, well, we won't tell, mate. We won't tell anyone. Josh Homan, they won't care about that. It's unlikely they would, yes. I have to agree. I would think that would be very unlikely. Paul Funk, Highway Star or Deep Purple. Yep, it's another good one. So many good songs, isn't it? It's like trying to choose your favourite car. People ask me that all the time, what's your favourite car of all time? It's like, I just don't have one. There's too many. Every time I think of one, it's like, yeah, that would be it. And then I think of something else. It's like, oh, they're pretty cool too. So, yeah. So luscious. If you burned ants with a magnifying glass, government will hire you. Oh, my goodness. Well, maybe if he was waterboarding ants, but yeah, I'm not sure about burning. Granddad's junk. When I was a kid, we stole the teacher's VW and took it for a joyride. Yep, got busted. Oh, oops. Oh, that, yeah. Ouch. You're pretty young. I mean, you're at school, so I don't know whether the juvenile. I mean, you're probably not planning on coming to the States anyway, so. Uh, yeah. Jeff Hutchins, The Devil Went Down to Georgia, #1. That's another good one, isn't it? And that's coming from a rock guy. Yeah, that's a very, not many people haven't heard of that song, have they? Or know it well enough to sing along to it, like most people do. They might not know every word, but yeah, that's a pretty famous song. Mopar Al, Born to be Wild and Can't Drive 55. There you go. Here's another two good ones. Chris Freeman, Beetle originally had split rear windows up until maybe 53 or so. Those are definitely valuable. Didn't they have two different sizes of the split window? Like a bigger one, a bigger split window, and a really small split window? Mate, I could be making that up. That's just what my memory's telling me. Barracuda, I always thought All Summer Long was perfect for the end of American Graffiti. Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Sid Lusher, Sniffin' Tears, Driver's Seat song, good also. Yeah. Yeah, so many. Tavo, with the present Oz government coming from Iran, Iraq, they'll roll out the rig. Oh, Lord, no, really? Tell me it's not true. Just don't try coming from an Anglo country. Oh, yeah, that's screwed up, isn't it? It does. I know you're kind of joking, but there's an element of truth to that too, isn't there? Yeah. 6th Street Garage, at the end of American Graffiti, the song Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs. Yep, yeah. Most of the songs on that soundtrack are good songs. LVG, at the car show on Sunday, the band did a killer Buddy Holly set. The music went really well with the classic car show. I'll bet it did. Yeah, that was. Yeah, it would have been interesting if that plane had never crashed. Yes, as to what songs we might be listening to now, or what other songs, additional songs we'd be listening to now. That was quite the tragedy, really. I did actually I went years ago now, many years ago. I went and saw the musical of Buddy Holly, the Buddy Holly story. And I'm not really a big fan of musicals. Theatre, no, not me. But that Buddy Holly story was awesome. It was really good. Barracuda, he made the trains run on time. Okay, I must have missed something there. Mopar Al, not yet, but the Lark made it to No Name National. Oh, cool. Very good. Did you give it a skid? Did it go down the 8th or the quarter mile or whatever they were running? Hopefully you did. So luscious. Have you patented an ejection seat? Need one when the wife nags. Well, the trouble is she's probably going to, if you're talking about the Alpine, I'm assuming you are, she's going to be driving at 99% of the time. So that would mean that she has, like the ejection seat is going to be the passenger seat, which is probably going to be my seat. So yeah, we probably won't be installing one of those. Now, while I don't nag, I do piss her off sometimes. But isn't that a husband's job, Jeff Hutchins, that's why I haven't done that TDI Baja, but too much work. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot of great ideas out there, isn't there? But yeah, getting to them and getting it done is another thing. The dude, I walked the heck out of a second-gen Trans Am nose using stripper years ago. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one. There may be, as you say, it was years ago. And I do, because the plastic bumpers are like just prolific now. Like, find me a new car that doesn't have a plastic bumper. So I do think that these newer products have come out to kind of help with this problem with plastic bumpers, the problem of getting paint off. Tavo, I personally wouldn't remove the paint, but just scuff it lightly enough for new paint to key to. That would be the ideal way to do it, as long as the paint's not. I mean, it's a fairly old car he's talking about, 80s. Um, so the paint may just be deteriorating to a point where you're not going to be able to paint over it. You've got to get most of it off, possibly. Don't know. Sid Luscious kids. Tony's overhauling a can solves all the problems. Good Lord. Carlo, should I say for the primer to key to? Yeah. Yeah. Jeff Hutchins, Sid Luscious, make sure you rig up the passenger seat to eject. You'll be in trouble any other way. Well, yeah, that's going to be my problem. I'm going to be the one in the passenger seat. Yep. Again. Right, here we go. Road tripping, just the full collection of ACDC CDs. There you go. Kerosene and cucumbers. Hard for me to pick one car. I could narrow it down to 5 or 6. Yeah, I'm with you, man. And then I'd probably end up with 7 or 8. You know, there's a lot of cool cars out there. There's a lot of cool cars out there, and I mean, I think I could do 5 or 6 of just American stuff. But then if you added in, you know, some of the others, like you know, some of the European and English and stuff like that, it's like, oof, oof. It makes it tough. There were different sizes of the single pane rear window, a smaller oval window first, then a larger rear window later. Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. The Granddad's Jack, the Bon Scott era was great. The Bon Scott, not even familiar with that, with him. Um, Jeff Hutchins, a bunch of those guys got together in high school and put a VW bug on the sidewalk between 2 poles on the nose and the rear. He had to do a 73-point turn to get it out. He took it well, good guy. Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, there's that's happened to a few teachers, I suspect. Yeah, I've heard that, you know, stories like that not numerous, but several times over the years. So I'm sure there's been a lot gone on that I've not heard about. Uh, I remember we did it. I can't remember the car. I don't think it was a bug, but we actually um, we put the back axle up on blocks and kind of hid the blocks behind the wheels, so they were like barely half an inch off the ground. So you really couldn't even tell it was on blocks until the teacher went to drive off, and of course wheels weren't really touching the ground. So yeah, and from all accounts, he didn't take that one so well. Charles Dalton, I don't have a favourite, but get out of Denver. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. It's almost guaranteed to earn me a speeding ticket. Oh Lord. Sid Luscious, best car I drove, 67 GTO, 4-speed 389. Yep. Well, not a 67. I've got a 65. The engine's been away forever, like 6 freaking months, and I'm getting it back, and that is a 60. It's a 64 or 5 GDO tri-power 4-speed. So watch out for that. It'll be here in the next month. Should be. Like up and running in the next month, I should say. Jess Phuket. Watching Kiwi munching on Tim Tams and pineapple lumps. Great combo. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm so jealous. Tim Tams are the best. And pineapple lumps. Yeah. I'm jealous, though. Well, Jess. Not sure. Jess, yeah. Sure it's a lady or a man. Kerosene cucumbers. I'm not familiar with All Summer Long. Who does it? All Summer Long? That's Kid Rock. Kid Rock. That's a really good song too. Barracuda, the Beach Boys. Oh, hang on. No, sorry, I'm thinking about two different songs. My bad. Yes, Beach Boys did it way back then. Kid Rock did a song that's all have of the same title. But yeah, very different song. Steve Sadusky's Slow Ride by Foggett is a cool cruising song too. True. Granddad's Junk, I was a big Motorhead fan in the 80s. Yeah, that's not one that really ever floated my boat, I'll be honest with you. Barracuda, Puff the Magic Dragon. I remember Puff the Magic Dragon. That was kind of compulsory viewing as a kid. That was good stuff. But yeah. Yep. Oh, Sixth Street Garage, the Buddy Holly story with Gary Busey was good, 1978. Yeah, it was a good movie. And honestly, the stage show, I can't remember who was in it. I've still got the program for it tucked away in a box of stuff. And honestly, that was have to be 35 years ago. I couldn't tell you who was the lead, who played Buddy Holly in that stage show, but they were very good. Barracuda and Big Wednesday with Gary Busey is a classic. Okay, Big Wednesday. Don't recall that one. No Power L did an 871 in the 8 with no tune, tight converter, and no slick. It was a good shakedown on the car. Going to DVR soon to get tuned on the dyno. Nice. 871. Yeah, that's respectable, man. That's a lot quicker than Marge was. I think Marge did. What did she do on the 8? It was like 14 seconds or something like that on the 8. It was woeful. But yeah, hopefully she'll be a little better than that once. Maybe I should try and take Marge to the No Name National the next year. There you go. She should be ready by then. 6th Street Garage, Big Wednesday. What is that about? Good question. Bon Scott, the original singer of AC/DC, first 5 albums. Huh. There you go. Barracuda, Kiwi. Did you notice a car like Large Marge at the start of The Last American Hero? No, I did not. The Last American. I'm thinking of Last American. No. I'll have to go back and look. Barracuda, Big Wednesday, 60s and 70s California Surfers. Oh, yeah. So is that like a kind of a Beach Boys sort of sound? Sid Luscious, Beach Boys 409. Yep, that's a very good song too. Granddad's chain. Nothing like biting a small hole in each end and sucking your coffee into it. Yum, yum. Mr. Tim Tam you're talking about. Yes, I couldn't agree. Absolutely. Yep, it's the way to do it. Pop's Mustang shop. I used to sneak out at midnight and drive a 63 Volkswagen Bug. Amazing I didn't get caught. Yeah, well, I may have snuck it out driving cars I shouldn't have when as a young lad. Yes, possibly that happened. If you should confirm or deny. Um, Granddad's Junk, one of your Yankee bands I like is Nothing Phase and Chevelle. Mate, I haven't heard of either of them. The Dude, what's the fastest you've ever run in the quarter, Kiwi? Ooh, not that fast, actually. Um, no, not that fast. Like, it was a decade. Like, I think the only drag strip I've run on in the States is nearby here at a track in Etheridge. And I ran um, Large Marge and I ran the Audi down there. The Audi was pretty quick. I can't remember. But that was an eighth, not a quarter. Um, so previous to those two trips down the strip, um, would have been as a 20-year-old in my Buick, and I think that did like 15.1, which was pretty good for a big tank of a Buick Electra, but yeah, not fast. Let's be honest. Had faster cars than that, but not. I hadn't run them on the quarter mile. So, but yeah, the Audi is supposed to run tens on the quarter, and like the KSV would probably do tens pretty comfortably as well. 750 horse should do tens. Um, but yeah, I haven't run it down the strip, so Brendan's junk. Tony, one of the students had a convertible. There you go. Not sure what you mean there. Kerosene cucumbers. I think Gary Busey was in the last American Hero. Okay. Okay, Gary was in the last American Hero. There we go. Brendan's junk. Sorry, I got mixed up thinking. Oh, yeah, mate, that's my brain went initially to the Greatest American Hero as well. Um, but that was the TV series, wasn't it? With the little curly, curly-haired blonde guy who's a bit of a goofball. Chavo, my fastest quarter was 15.6 and a six-cylinder four-door. Fastest time press tested the pacer at was 16.2 when new. Wow. Oh, well. So that was appreciably faster then. I'm assuming when you say a six-cylinder four-door, I'm assuming you mean like a Hemi pacer. Um, I'm guessing you're meaning that one you had. Um, Driveway of Misfits. So how often do you drive the KSV? Mate, not very often. Not very often. Probably every couple of months, maybe. Take it for a little run around the block just to keep it rolling. But no, not as much as I should. I spend too much time here in this place. Um, yeah, and but my spare time will increase at some point, and then we'll get out and drive it a bit more, and then hand it off to my boy. It does need a few things doing to it, like most hot rods. Just little stuff that has cropped up, as the year goes by. Because I've had that since that was completed, I think, in 2014. So it actually needs new tyres. They're out of date. To be fair, the back ones are pretty much worn out, but hey, the front one's not so much. But yeah, so Tavo Hemi 6 goes better when clapped out. Really? Why would that be? I guess a brand new one probably wasn't sealed as well as it could have, the rings and stuff like that. So Yeah, I was watching a bit of Touring Car Masters on my phone at lunchtime today, um, and man, that's some good racing. I was watching is it Tillett, what's his name, with the blue Pacer, uh, and it had, the race I was watching, he had the V8 in it. He updated from the six cylinder. That thing gets along, doesn't it? The actor William Catt was in the Greatest American Hero TV series and Big Wednesday. Okay. Kerosene and Cucumbers. Gary Busey was a good musician and a fair actor before the motorcycle crash. Okay. Is that when he went off the rails after the crash? Like, I didn't even know about the motorcycle crash, I'll be honest with you, but Grandad's joke is the 450 horsepower Charger races in the Masters. Yeah. The races I just watched two of them, like two 15-minute race, Bathurst races actually. I think they were like 2019, so they weren't new, but I hadn't seen them. Cam Tilley, that's him. Um, yeah, that's it's kind of cool seeing that four-door sedan Pacer ripping around. Um, what was impressive was that Mustang of Angus Fogg's, and apparently it's coming up. I was reading somewhere that coming up, approaching Bathurst, which any American viewers here, you get to see. Bathurst is, I think it's the third week in October, third or first week in October. I can't remember what it is. But it's coming up soon. That is just a fantastic race, and honestly, some of the older ones are probably some of the best. The formula has lost a little bit of its um, edge, I guess you could say, in that they're very formula cars now. They all share the same space frame chassis and fiberglass panels that look like a Camaro, a Mustang, stuff like that. But you go back, you know, 10, 16 years, and the Aussie Touring, Super Touring, Super V8s were pretty, were cars you could buy off the showroom floor. Heavily modified, but they still had steel doors and steel floor pan and unibody construction and stuff like that. Full of roll cage, but that was the best days of Aussie touring car, I think. Um, the dude, he had serious brain damage from the wreck, and he got even better. Oh, good lord. Um, Sid Luscious, Nissan 5.6 motor. They got 1,200 horsepower out of it. Look at that. Good lord. I heard something too. I did. It kind of startled me slightly. I don't know what that was. Whether something fell over or what, but there's nobody. Well, there could be someone next door still. I don't know. LVG, the true story. My dad got to see Buddy Holly in 1958 at the Les Buzz Ballroom in Spring Valley, Illinois. I still have the flyer from it. That's way cool. That's very cool. Tavo, Kiwi, did you see the crash that almost ended the Blue Pacer? Camaro rear-ended at that speed. Did I see that one? I saw it in a bad one. I thought I saw it in a bad one on a street course, one of the street trip courses. Was that the one? I'm not sure whether I saw it or not. Chris Freeman, that's just Kev pounding on his cell wall. It's dinner time. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There he is. He's just lurking in the background. He's trying to find something to eat down one of the holes in the Alpine. Jeff Hutchins, I remember the Greatest American Hero TV show from when I was a kid. I think I could still sing along with the theme song if I heard part of it. I think I probably could too. Yeah. Steve Sadusky, has anyone here in this group ever set up their windshield washer fluid squirted to squirt mineral oil into the rear exhaust pipe so when you were being chased by the cops? No. The smoke screen caused the cops not able to see because of the smoke. No, I've never had that much intention of being chased by the cops, I'll be honest with you. I do. A mate of mine, he had the washers pointing down at his rear tyres, and he would put bleach through it. He pumped bleach down on it. That made for a big burnout with some bleach, believe it or not. So yeah, he'd just be lighting the tyres up and just firing bleach out of the windshield washers that came out in the rear wheel arches. Some pretty impressive burnouts. Jeff Hutchins, that Nissan 5.6 is good. One thing is a forged bottom end. It would need it with 1,200 horse, yeah. Sid Luscious, Buddy had a rusted whole floor. People follow too close, he would drop out ball bearings through the floor. Ooh. Yeah, but that made him drop back quickly. Barracuda, you've never seen a Kiwi, mate? Not even in not many people have seen them in the wild. That's very rare. But yeah, you've not seen one in the zoo or anything. Wow. But yeah, that's as close as you're going to get to. That's pretty kind of life size, that thing. Steve Sadusky. Boy, did I get in trouble. I'll bet you did. Sid Luscious. Oh, yes, sorry. Barry Keeter. Josh Hogan, I would imagine. Yeah. Barry Keeter, you and Okie. The Gary Busey thing is why I asked. Okay. This is high crime. I'm innocent compared to this. Barracuda, Oklahoma. No, no, exactly. I was going to say that, but I'll let you defend yourself there, mate. No, Barracuda is a Kiwi. Yes, good Kiwi boy. Good, strong genes. Decent bloke. And they're all pretty good blokes, the Kiwi guys. The dude, what's the longest you've ever been in prison? I have not been in prison. That's Baldo you're thinking of. Josh Homan never, no. We're looking at a Kiwi right now. Well, this is true. Christopher C. Right on. I used to run into Jake Busey in Tulsa Bar. Huh. Sid Luscious. Jay Leno has a jet engine car on a drive car at traffic light. Got so close he revved it and melted the grill. Oh my God, that'd be a Leno thing to do, wouldn't it? Good Lord, that's wild. LBG, yep, the bleach trick was great. Used to do that with Harleys and piss off the neighbours. Tavo, I guess Kiwis aren't as prolific as roos are over here. Good Lord, no. I see those daily, usually when I'm doing 70 mile an hour and they suddenly appear at the roadside. Yes, or directly in front of you. No, Kiwis are nothing like kangaroos, mate. Numbers-wise, obviously to look at, they're a little different as well. But no, numbers, Kiwis are quite endangered, and obviously they're nocturnal, and flightless, so you very rarely see them other than at a zoo, or unless you're like, tramping in the bush every weekend. You might, in camping, you might see one, but they're pretty timid too. They'll hear you before you see them. So yeah, not like kangaroos at all. And you can actually hunt and eat kangaroo. God help you if you did that with a Kiwi. I don't think you can even own Kiwi feathers. I think it's illegal to even own the feathers of a Kiwi. Even if it's off a dead one, there's no difference. They're very, very protected. The dude. Driveway of misfits. Around these parts, it's deer that magically appear in front of your car. Yeah, yeah, that's a problem right across America, isn't it? Barracuda, wow. Saw a very large dead wallaby on the road here a while back. Glad I didn't hit it. Wow. Yeah, I know we only had wallabies in New Zealand, but I don't think there's any kangaroos yet, is there? Sid Luscious, I was in Darwin, Australia, Kakadu State Park, saw roos at night. Yeah, you would do. Yep, exactly right, Charlie. Yeah, roos are pretty much our version of deer. Yep. They're just ideally suited to the terrain, you know. Something going on out there. Let's see. Where we go? Sid Luscious. We did chase him until I dented the front bumper of a rented Jeep. Uh, the things we do. Especially when there's a few beers involved, huh? Granddad's junk. Wallabies are a pest. Big numbers around Waimanni. Oh, really? Another introduced species. They have a habit of taking over. Hmm. Okay. So, while we've got a little quiet spot, don't forget to hit the like button. We got more likes than we got people. You know, actually the likes are doing quite well. So, to be fair, so do that. Um, yeah, Barracuda. They make wallaby pies in Waimanni. Really? Across Freemast. So wallabies just mini-sized roos. Uh, Simply put, yeah. I mean, yeah. It is a slightly different species when you're closely related, but yeah, they are different creatures. But yeah, as you say, they're just a smaller version of a kangaroo. So I guess they just branched out. Well, yeah, a couple of them just decided not to quite grow quite so big, was more effective. So yeah, there you go. Oh, that's a good explanation, Tava. Related like a greyhound and a whippet. Yeah, Barracuda, the one I saw didn't look mini. Hmm. Mate, those big reds you get in the outback, they're huge, don't they, Sam? Tava will be able to confirm this, but I think they stand like 7 feet tall or something. They're huge. Well, you know, that'd be like the biggest one. Um, but I seem to remember that number of 7 feet being bandied around with the big reds. Sid Luscious, I had a friend in Thailand when visiting. He was from a friend in Thailand when visiting. He was from Tasmania. You get over there. They have Tasmanian devils over in Tasmania. Grandad's junk, the yellow-footed rock wallaby, South Australia, are very nice looking. Okay, never heard of them before. Kerosene and cucumbers. We have problems with wild hogs down here in South Georgia. I hit one last year and busted plastic bumper cover pretty bad. I bet it did. They're pretty solid, those things. And vicious too. They'll tear you up, those things, don't they? Carvo, don't get reds where I am, but still some pretty big greys. Yeah. So am I right about that 7 foot tall on the reds and the big reds? Uncut chode. Dear sir, how are you doing? I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. Doing good. Can't complain. Nobody listens anyway. LBG. I remember the first time I came across a herd of deer while riding to Sturgis. On a bike. They were all sitting on the side of the road ready to jump in front of us. Scary as hell. Tavo, easily 7-foot reds. Big greys can pass 6 foot. Okay. That'd be intimidating, man. A 7-foot tall kangaroo. Imagine the size of the legs and feet on them. Because they're muscular animals too. Like they're strong. So yeah, 7 foot. Yeah, looking up to a kangaroo would be intimidating. Sid Luscious, Montana, where I'm at, you don't drive fast at night. Well, that makes sense. Below me, Helvey, driveway misfits. No joke, driving at night, you have to keep an eye out for two tiny glowing eyes suddenly appearing on the shoulder. Yeah, that reflection's. Oof, yeah, sometimes it's just, from what I've heard, I touch wood, I've never actually hit it yet. But from all accounts, sometimes you know, you don't know till you don't know they're there until they're airborne in front of the car, and that the accident is happening no matter what you do. Ron White, American comedian Ron White, had a really good spiel about deer and hitting deer and stuff like that. It was all about, this friend of his was bragging about his rifle and how the bullet travels at 1,300 feet per second or something, and how how many deer he's shot with it. Ron White was came back with, well, he managed to hit a deer at just 55 mile an hour and didn't even aim. So what's the big deal? It was funny when he said it. But yeah, go and look for that. Ron White on deers. It's delicious. This summer almost had a cow, elk, and a couple of deer. Ooh, I had an elk. Yeah. Not hit anything really. Jeff Hutchins, the winch bumpers on my Dodgers and Ford take care of the deer. I bet they do. The battle there was so beat up they probably couldn't tell if I hit a deer. Oh, well, there's advantages to being in that situation, aren't there? Barracuda, how tall can Kodiak or grizzly bears be? That's a good question. Pretty huge. Pretty huge. Not sure which is bigger, the Kodiak or the grizzly. I'm sure someone's going to tell us. Someone here will know. Missoula Airport has a stuffed grizzly, looks like 7 feet tall. There you go. Yeah, I think. I don't think 7 foot's out of the way for a grizzly, not stood on its back legs. I think 7 feet would be fairly easily attainable. It'd be interesting seeing a grizzly line up with a big red to see who intimidated the other first. That'd be interesting. I don't know who would back down from that. Jeff Hutchins, we took out a cow, Alpine 63 Fairlane, broke the windshield, bent the antenna, made the AM/FM radio work and ripped the rear view mirror off. No body damage. Wow, really? No body damage. Granddad's Chunk, aren't our Waipaddy deer elk? Right, I don't know. Barracuda, Kiwi, have you heard of the mooses of Fiordland? No, I have not. Fiordland. In New Zealand. Moose. Really? Wow. No, have not. It's still warm in this place, I tell you. No AC. Feels like it's still 75 degrees in here. Granddad's junk. The moose was released in Dusky Sound. Why would they release a moose in Dusky Sound? It's crazy. Tavo, if you head far north or west here, wild camels are a bigger problem. Huh. Saw the aftermath of one running across the air highway. Took the roof off the city. Yeah. Oh. That didn't end well for the passengers. Wow. Yeah, well, that's a lot of body mass up fairly high, isn't it? That'd be brutal. Because it's pretty tall. Ooh. Jeff Hutchins took her feet out from under into the windshield, over the roof, onto the trunk, off the back, ran into the trees and stood there. Really? Wow. How did it not break its legs to pieces? Shatter the legs. That's crazy. Chris Freeman. No AC while you slave away on cars. Your boss sounds like a cheapskate. I do have a swamp cooler actually over that. No, which way? That way. Got a swamp cooler blowing there. That does a pretty good job most of the time. But I got all the doors down, and you actually need the doors open a bit with the swamp cooler going. But it's 8:37, so I don't really want the doors open. Stephen Bakey hey Kiwi, coming in late, mate. That's fine. That's not a problem. We got 20 minutes to go, so it's all good. You've missed a whole bunch of stuff, but that's okay. You can go back and have a look if you want. Oh, it didn't end well for the camel either. No, I bet. It's an air highway. That'd have been moving. That's not a slow piece of highway. Back in the 50s, in around Fannin Bay, 2 lots were released. Wow. Who thought that was a good idea? Like, what's the point of doing that? Andy Nickel, Grizzlies can reach 10 feet tall, Google. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a pee your pants event, wouldn't it? Like stumbling on one of them in the woods, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be much fun at all. Alrighty. On here, guys. Well, while you guys just give me a moment, I'm going to get another water. Right, I'm back. Granny's junk. I used to crayfish in Dusky. Oh, really? Huh. Strangely, the water doesn't seem to quench my thirst quite as much as bourbon does. But I'm not quite sure how that works. But hey. Yeah. Jeff Hutchins, remember last week my customers left me totally alone during the live. Not today, hounding me like crazy. Finally forced the last one out, 40 minutes over. Oh man. Yeah, that sucks. Gosh, what time is it where you are, Jeff? Barracuda. I think the moose I heard of were released in the early 1900s. There you go. Jeff Hutchins, 6:40. Wow, you are working late. 6:40. It's still late. Um, yeah, 6:40. You should have. Man, I'm not typically here much past 5:30. I'll be honest with you. Oregon. Josh Homer, this is a good problem to have. LVG, big event for the weekend. Ooh, what's going on? Going to wrestle the Cruiser-Matic back into the 60T boot with my nephew. Hope he is strong as he says he is. Well, the truth will be revealed, won't it? The truth will be revealed. 60, at least it's not a cast iron transmission. Should it be? Cruiser-Matic shouldn't be cast iron. I don't think. Tell that transmission out of Marge, that cast iron transmission, that is hella heavy. That reminds me, I must go back to the transmission guy who I haven't heard from and see where on earth he's got to with Marge's transmission. Kind of forgotten all about that, just reminded myself. There you go. So thank you, LVG. It's stuff for me to do tomorrow. So, I'll report back next Tuesday and see if he's actually even started on it. Andy Nickel, you're supposed to sing when walking in bear country. The bear will hear you coming and bug out unless they're very hungry. Yeah, well, if they heard me singing, that probably it actually makes a certain amount of sense. Jeff Hutchins, too many customers is much better than not enough. Yeah, but it sure doesn't feel like it sometimes, right? Absolutely right. I get all that all the time when I'm telling people, it's going to be 3 months, 4 months before I get to your car. And they're like, oh, that's a good problem to have. But yeah, I don't know that it is. I'd be quite happy being, I don't know, 4 weeks out. Because you can kind of keep it in your head. Like I have to keep every day. I've got to look at my calendar to see what I booked in 4 or 5 months ago. Because it's now, like 4 months later, it's a surprise. It's like you've forgotten booking it in. So yeah, and it's just busy. And sometimes you just got to tell people, no, we don't have time. And yeah, I just really don't like doing it. Barracuda, Kiwi, do you left foot brake and automatic? I always have. Yeah, me too, but I left foot brake all the time. Um, if I'm, yeah, it does vary a little bit. I've got a little bit of a habit left over from my rallying days of left foot braking. But it's especially if I'm in a car that I'm not familiar, which is, every other day. I like to have my foot just kind of hovering on the pedal, just touching it barely, not enough to trigger the brake lights or make the brakes drag, but just like right there or thereabouts, and just saves, I don't know, 3/4 of a second, something like that, and that can be enough. That can be the difference between hitting and missing. Well, I like the bear would want to do a duty. There you go. Sid Luscious. My dad surveyed in Alaska in the 40s. Wow. They put rocks in They put rocks in cooking gear and packs to make noise. Oh wow! Just to rattle and clang. Yeah, well, I'm sure the bears have figured out man. The noises mankind made, and bears. Even 10-foot grizzly bears don't like getting shot. The LVG, it is a cast iron. Oh, that sucks. Weighs about 400 pounds. Yeah, okay. Ooh, you're going to have some sore muscles come Monday, though. I take it you're doing it on the ground by the sound of it. Um, which that would, whew, yeah, rather you than me, man. Tavo, finally got the van back together, gearbox back in, and I'm rather annoyed. New clutch went in. Now I have half pedal travel and free play. CSC, so no adjustment. Yeah, yeah, that kind of sucks. Sure. Hmm. Sure, what would be causing that? Jeff Hutchins, my singing would call on a bear. He'd think something dying in pain, or a mating call, maybe. Who knows? Chavo, you should have videoed that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, could have made a video out of that. Andy Nickel, that's why I don't take bookings. If you want me to work on your guitar, you have to leave it with me. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, but yeah, you've probably got room for 20, 30, 40 guitars without too much problem. That would be the nice thing about being as small as a guitar. You've got to be a little bit careful how many cars you have hanging around outside, and of course, a lot of the cars I'm working on, people do not want them left outside, which I get. Chris Freemasson, my mother left foot brake, bought a car with a manual and 75 on when I was 6 years old. Still have whiplash from riding with her. Yeah, well, you got to remember which pedal that left foot's on. Yeah, yeah. Left foot braking in a manual car is much trickier. That requires a much higher degree of focus. Which obviously, when you're racing the rally, you are extra focused. Um, but yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Gone, you know, um, gone for the brake, gone for the clutch pedal to do a change down and slam the brakes on, just because I forgot where my foot was. And that's tricky. That's embarrassing. Jeff Hutchins, my friends surveyed just about the time they wouldn't let you carry a gun. Government job. If they complain too much, they'd hire armed guards for them. Stupid government thinking and ways. Yeah. Yeah. You'd want a gun in beer country, damn it. Like, yeah, they don't take many prisoners, beers. They'll mess you up. Oh, thick carbo, put thick clutch plate. Oh, yeah, okay, that would do it, I guess. All the pressure plate fingers in when clamping it down. Huh. Barracuda, Kiwi, have you ventured into the wilderness much over there? I don't think I would without a gun. Mate, I have not. We've done it. I'm not really a hiker or a walker. That's what that's my saying goes. That's why God invented the internal combustion engine. It didn't mean for us to be walking everywhere. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Um, yeah, no, I'm not for walking if you can drive it. So I've done a few little, like wife likes to go for walks at times, or walk a few miles, but onto fairly populated, well walked track areas. Um, and yeah, very just a few miles, a couple of miles, a couple of miles out, maybe that's about it. Um, so, but no, I wouldn't. There's mountain lions, cougars, the four-legged types. um, and you got snakes and all that stuff as well. But honestly, most of the time, the animals are more scared of you than you are of them, uh, realistically. But yeah, no, I would, if I was going to be doing any like going bush, I would want a gun. Yeah, absolutely. LVG, yeah, man, yep, on the ground. Scroll up the page here. LVG. That's why I'm bringing in some 26-year-old 26-year-old nephew. Fair enough too, man. You probably need two of them. Would be my suggestion, and you just stand up top and get the top bell housing bolts while the two of them lift it up from underneath. That's a better plan, I got to tell you. But good night, mate. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week. Tavo, I've never left foot brake. First 5 cars being manual, muscle memory just moves the right foot to the brake. Left foot would probably treat it like a clutch. Yeah, that's what you got to be wary of. Um, what I like in an automatic is like if I'm parking or I'm trying to pull into the garage, I'll just like modulate my movement by backing on and off the straight. I'll lean on the accelerator enough just to get a little slightly fast idle, and then I'll just let off. If I want to move forward 6 inches, I'll just ease off the brake and let it go, rather than trying to accelerate with the right foot and it moves and then jumping across to the brake with the right foot before you hit the back of the garage. That's one of the main reasons I left foot brake in an auto. And I'll sit there at the traffic lights, with my left toe on the brake pedal, just holding the car, and then right foot ready to go down, and I'm off. Jeff Hutchins, when I was 14, I bought a 52 Willys pickup. I was used to driving that. I was driving my mum in her 85 Caprice and had to do a panic stop. Both feet stopped the brake pedal when he stopped. Yeah, there you go. Brendan's junk. We are very lucky here. You can walk freely in the bush, no worries, nothing to bite or eat you except sandflies. Yeah, that is one of the wonderful things about New Zealand. There's nothing dangerous there, really. So yeah, a couple of spiders that'll give you a bit of an annoying bite, but that's about it. Yeah. Pretty harmless place. Some of the Kiwi women wouldn't necessarily be described as harmless, but you've got to watch out for some of them in the wild. But hey. Chris Freeman. When I was learning to drive in the 80s, you were specifically taught to brake with the right foot. Yeah. Oh, they penalise you on your driving test if you brake with your left foot. Oh, really? Wow. Barracuda, in a manual car, I want my left foot for emergency clutch work. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's 99.9% of the driving public. It does. It's a skill that takes a little while to master, that left foot braking in a manual car. It does. I mean, you watch some of the rally guys, the top level ones, and they just think nothing of it. It's just normal, as any of us driving, our favourite setup. They're completely normal with it. I don't think they actually know how not to. Andy Nickel, maybe 12, 15 guitar. Okay, but they come in faster than they go out, so I do have to turn customers away sometimes, but I don't like to. Yeah, this is just it. It can be tough, and I've got a habit of saying yes when I shouldn't, because I kind of feel for them. Often they're, like they don't. Not a lot of people working on old cars around me, so if I can't do it, there's not necessarily a lot of options. Because more and more of the regular shops do not want to work on old cars, and old cars to a lot of shops now is anything older than 20 years old. they don't want to work on. Dude, what about drop bears? Yes, I learned about drop bears last week. Yes. You don't believe everything you're told. Drop bears are here on the West Island. Jeff Hutchins, I always carry a gun, even in the woods. I'm more afraid of the two-legged meth varmints in the woods, too. Well, yeah. Chris Freeman, so the two-legged cougars are also a threat, Kiwi. I never underestimate them, buddy. No, never underestimate them. Dude, mate, that's brutal. At Kiwi's age, a cougar would have to be about 90. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. No. I use the gun on myself if I had to. Sixth Street Garage. I heard you don't have snakes in New Zealand. Is that true? Oh, yes and no. No, there are no snakes naturally occurring in New Zealand, none at all. But a few have been illegally brought into the country, and they're starting to see a handful of snakes around, and a few snake skins have been discovered. And the wildlife, the Department of Wildlife, um, game and fishing, whatever that, I can't remember quite what they're called, are very concerned about it because some idiots have, brought snuck snakes in as pets, and then they let them go. And if um, they get established, it'll be a real problem. It'll be a real problem. But no, strictly speaking, no snakes in New Zealand. Yes, dear. Some cars have pull wheels that self-adjust cable that you can that can break on clutch cable. That can break on. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Not following that, yes, dear. Granddad's chunk, the Haast eagle is extinct. There's no danger of being carried away. Well, this is true. Tavo, yeah, I do that too for micro moving, but not general driving. Yeah, that's when I find it most advantageous, to be fair. Or, say, when I'm a bit in a strange car that I'm a bit concerned about what its drivability. Robert Hirschfield, hi Kiwi, hope you're having a great night. I am having a great night. Wow, we're about out of time. It's 8:59. Wow, look at that. You left it to the last moment there, Robert. But hey, Andy Nicol, when I broke my right leg, I had to get an automatic and drove with my left foot. I was in a boot for over a year. Oh, wow, you broke it pretty good, didn't you? Barracuda. Fossilised remains of crocodiles have been found in parts of central Otago. Huh, didn't know that. Granddad's joke. Watch those crazy Kiwi women. They wrap their legs around your neck. You will be gasping for air. Yeah, but what a way to go. Jeff Hutchins, my oldest son. Oh, where's he gone? My oldest son opened his own diesel shop around 2 years ago. He quickly noticed he was getting all of the shit jobs everyone else turned away and shit customers. He learned quick. Yeah, yep. That's exactly what's happening. But he's paid his dues. He's got his time. He's figured it out. And uh, as he gets busier and more confident, then you certainly are able. He'll be more selective. And you kind of got to be. But yeah. Orlando Pockets, hi Kiwi, got an 84 Civic. Can you add a supercharger to it? Well, yes, you can. You can get some small superchargers, or those superchargers that are like a belt-driven turbocharger. So yeah, you can do it. quite how easy it is to do. I don't know, honestly. 84 Civic is quite a cool little car, but not something I'm particularly familiar with. But yeah, neat little car, very popular these days. 6th Street Garage, 47 different species of snakes in Georgia. Said, well, awesome. Let's not visit there then. I don't like snakes. No, I don't like snakes. Jeff Hutchins, I still take the crap jobs way more often than I should. Same reason as Kiwi, I feel sorry for him. Yeah, there you go. We're on the same page, brother. Beagle Bob, on that note, good night. Hey, you've been quiet tonight, Beagle Bob. Where have you been? You've obviously been there in the background. Haven't heard much from you, mate. This dude, no snakes left in New Zealand. See, we killed them all before he left. Tavo, we need to send some interesting pets to New Zealand. Brown snake. Huntsman's, no thanks. Crocs, no. Funnel webs and drop pins, oh my lord. Oh, Orlando boys teasing me about the Honda Civic. Yeah, I see. I never know who's. That's tricky. Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, doesn't pay to assume. You see. Greenhead's junk Tavo. We would become an uninhibited country, uninhabited maybe. We've got huntsmen in New Zealand. Oof. Orlando, I figured if you touched a Civic, you wouldn't melt. Mate, I actually don't like. I quite like some of the JDM stuff. Some of them were cool, and those little Honda Civics, were quite. There was some neat little hot hatches, and I'm not completely against them. When I was rallying, it was little Japanese cars. So yeah, I'm not opposed to Japanese, but I just have no reason to work on and haven't had reason to work on them for 20 years. So yeah, I'm not your guy, But yeah, no, I wouldn't melt, but I would be a little lost. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, Barracuda, we don't have the devil horned Albanese. What the heck is that? But dude, good night. Get those plane tickets. Okay, I'm going to talk to Mrs. Kiwi. I'm supposed to be ringing her while I drive home. So I'm going to do that. All right, guys. Well, another great night. Yeah. Jeff Hutchins, hate working on front-wheel drive cars. Well, yeah, there is that. The Jap stuff I did work on was rear drive. All right, guys, gotta go. I will see you next Tuesday, same time. Not sure if it'll be the same place, but yeah, it will definitely be same time. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed it. I did. So take it easy. Get working on your cars, and try not to drop any cast iron transmissions on yourself. Okay. All right. See you guys. Take it easy.